Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Bandit's Den. I'm back. I just have a burning desire to talk about this our culture stuff. It's ridiculous. As much as people like to say they hate this thing, it seems to be all they ever think and talk about. And it's bugging me. There's this guy I talked to on the interweb that, I don't know. They're kind of sus sometimes. I think they're a spy. Everyone is a spy anyway. I have people like poking and prodding at me like all the time, nitpicking at me, and I keep getting burned out of spaces and stuff. I think a lot of it is just people have personal issues with me. Maybe I'm too normal. Maybe I'm not too internet-y enough because people are just losing their goddamn minds on the internet. It's insane. People will look at the smallest thing, the smallest little thing that I say, and misconstrue it, twist it, and then use it as an excuse to burn me at the stake. It's fucking crazy. Oh, I said a cuss word. I was trying not to cuss in the first 2 minutes. I almost made it. I was more than halfway there. So anyways, this our culture stuff. This sus individual that asks me really obtuse questions asked me today, oh, how do you get it on? And I'm like, what are you talking about, dude? Like, this is such an obtuse question. I told you before, asking me obtuse questions is probably not going to get an answer to the question that you really have in your mind. You really need to narrow this down. And then they pressed further. They're like, oh, well, I want to know how it starts with you from your personal experiences. And I'm like, okay. Well, I admit that 80% of human communication, interpersonal communication, is body language. And during intimate moments, like, almost all of it is that. There might be some non-English verbalizations, but it's like dancing. It's all pretty much non-verbal, and when you're getting intimate and romantic with somebody, you can just tell. Like, if a chick starts declothing me and declothing herself and like getting all up on my neck and stuff, and then pulling me to the bedroom, most of that body language should tell you that like she's ready, But people are so obsessed with this verbal communication, it's ridiculous. It's like if I'm sitting here playing video games and something like that happens with a chick I'm hanging out with, that's what's gonna happen. We're gonna end up all in there on that bed, and we'll have some fun. Like one content producer used to say, we do the horizontal mamba. And that's pretty much what it is. It's like a dance, almost. There's almost no verbal communication in English anyway. And so I didn't say all of that specific kind of stuff, but I gave them the general idea of how it goes for like a normal person. I think I'm pretty normal. And I think that's how it goes for most people. At least I think it should. It shouldn't be all mechanical. Anyway, before I spoil too much of it, I'll tell you, right after I explained all of that nonverbal communication and stuff, they immediately sent me this, which I'll show you. Yeah, they sent me this. And it starts with this. And so you can guess what they're pretty much accusing me of being, right? But it says, an R victim who becomes aroused from the actions or movements of their attacker is not attracted to them. Well, yeah, I mean that's very well likely, but I don't like how how this thing they sent me in response to how I say intimate interactions between me and the female part of the species goes. I don't like that reaction getting sent to me in response to me explaining to them how intimate interactions get initiated between me and a woman, or two women, or whatever you want to imagine about me. So, I'll go on. Arousal and attraction are two different things. Just because you are physically aroused from stimulation does not mean you're attracted to the one doing the stimulation. Now, that's true. I'll agree with that. But what they're insinuating about me being an artist by sending me this crap after me explaining to them how pretty much all my intimate interactions, except some of my more recent ones, and I'll get into that, have gone. So, I played their game, and they haven't responded to me. They probably won't for a while. But I was like, okay, so does that mean I got R'd by all the unattractive chicks that I got down with? Because I've got down with some of them. Because they were there, they wanted it, and I wasn't attracted to them at all. My mind was mostly somewhere else. And they wanted it from me more than I wanted it from them. But I was like, hey, this thing is almost kind of like a drug. And so, I can get a little happy from it, even though I'm not attracted at all to this person. And they want me. And so I'll make them happy. I'll get my jollies off. And, I'll have a little downtime for an hour before the next urge comes on because I have a really high libido. And so it all worked fine and dandy. I consented to it, but I did not verbally consent. I did not say yes, allow me to do this thing to you. Or she didn't ask me, hey, is it okay if now that you're set to do this, is it okay if you do it? 'Cause that would just be fucking weird. That would just totally ruin the mood for me, and considering I'm not even attracted to them, it would just completely kill everything, and I'd probably want to go home and play video games or watch videos of somebody that I am attracted to. And it would just be ridiculous, man. But it didn't go that way, right? There was no verbal communication or anything. And then the next time I would hang out with an individual like this, right, I would hit them up, or they would hit me up a week later and be like, hey, you down to chill, blah, 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 whatever. I knew where it was going after that because that's where it went last time. I don't understand these people who will repeatedly go to this same person that they're not attracted to, get down, and then cry about it. It's like, well, why do you keep showing up, dude? That's your own damn fault. We're all consenting adults here. You knew what happened last time. You got down. If you didn't have fun, well then don't show up next time. Fuck. So all these ugly girls that I got with, I enjoyed myself. I got my jollies off. They enjoyed themselves. It made me happy to help somebody else enjoy themselves and enjoy myself while doing it. Well, I don't know, probably 70 or 80% somewhere else in my head. I don't see a problem with that. But according to this article, right, that means I was R-worded because I wasn't attracted to those individuals. I got down with them. I was okay with getting down with them. I met with chicks like this multiple times individually and got down with them, but I never verbally consented to it. And so I guess, according to them, I got R-worded. But of course, since I'm a dude, they'll probably come up with something. Why it's not applicable to me or some shit. But anyways, let's continue on. For example, asexuals aren't sexually attracted to anyone. However, that doesn't mean their reproductive organs don't work. They can still be aroused by whatever and still not have any attraction to whatever's causing the arousal. Hell, anyone can even have it happen for no reason at all. It's called hormones and all that awkward stuff that's embarrassing AF. And you can't really control it, and there's no attraction. It's just aroused by itself. Now this is a weird thing right here. Awkward and embarrassing AF to talk about, oh my god, hormones. It's so embarrassing to talk about people getting horny, but completely not embarrassing to talk about the R word. Which is strange, because everybody that I know who is a legitimate victim of something like that, that's probably one of the most embarrassing things for them to ever talk about. and they don't want to talk about it as freely as this article does. That's the first thing they talk about, shamelessly, unapologetically, not even mentioning it's embarrassing. Oh, boom, an R victim. And I find it strange that, like, that's the first phrase that I get sent when I explain to somebody how my intimate interactions with others have gone. So it's like, probably like a third of the time this thing is telling me I was R-worded, and the other 2/3 of the time I guess I was R-wording the other person, and I've never actually had an intimate interaction. It's just always the R-word all the time, which is fucking ridiculous. But yeah, recently I had somebody that was really into this whole verbal consent thing. It's like, even though all the signs were there, partially declothed, grinding on me, getting ready for the whole thing, and then we would get to it, and then a few minutes in, she'd be like, I didn't verbally consent. And I'm like, okay, but I mean, you initiated this, so we've done this other times. You understand where this is going. When you initiate, this is where we go. And like, if you really need, I guess, ask for verbal consent before we even start every time. And she's like, yeah, that would make me feel more comfortable. So we tried that, and it would just kill it every time. And then she thought that the problem was stuff like this, and so wanted me to start asking for continuation of consent, like every 2 minutes or some garbage. And I tried that, and then it's like, well, with this individual, I just didn't want to do anything anymore. Because it's like, man, if I gotta be made to feel like a disgusting piece of garbage that, like, has to ask and, like, beg every 2 minutes because I'm such a repulsive and disgusting, filthy being to you, then why even fucking bother? You obviously don't even fucking like me, If a person needs me to be like, oh please, verbally, give me whatever every 2 minutes, it's like, I got better shit to do. I'll go hire a hooker or something. I'm never doing that again. I know the path that leads down. It leads down to a bunch of exploitation of me and a bunch of making me feel like a filthy and disgusting individual, just for being normal. But yeah, I just don't understand where all this crap is coming from. Maybe like 1% of people actually legitimately need verbal consent because they have some mental illness or something that doesn't allow them to be capable at all of comprehending what a chick taking her clothes off, grinding on them, kissing their neck, and pulling them into a bed means. And has no idea that a chick not doing something like that means that she doesn't want to get down. Or a chick, like, pushing you off and saying, no. No, if somebody doesn't understand that means they're not ready to get it on, well, then they have fucking mental issues, dude. Seriously, and maybe they should be incarcerated or institutionalized or something. There's something wrong with them. But for the vast majority of people, we can dance. Imagine you're doing the waltz and you ask this chick, or you tell her, excuse me, my lady, I'm going to put my left foot forward at this moment. Do you consent to that? And she says, oh yes, in that case, I will put my right foot backward. And that's how you have to do the waltz? No, that's stupid. Interactions in the bedroom are exactly the same as that. It would be so stupid if everybody was suddenly required to be like, excuse me, miss, I'm going to rotate 90 degrees. Please, inform me if this is uncomfortable for you. And just go about it like that. Dude, I'm not a fucking robot. No other human is either. And the crazy thing is, Taylor the Fiend points this out a lot, is these rules don't apply to Chad. Hell, in all of my relations in the past, the first 3 to 6 months or so, these rules don't apply to me either. So, I don't know, maybe I'm 50% Chad or something. Because rules and shit that all these people are saying don't apply to me when I'm first getting to know a chick. And then it's after the 3 to 6 month period where I guess because they get the commitment from me. Once they get commitment, all of a sudden they start laying down all these rules, and then I get resentments because these rules didn't exist. And she was not truthful from the beginning that this is what she expects, and this is who she expects to be able to be, right? I was told just like a bunch of lies from the beginning, because just like Taylor the Fiend also says, a lot of chicks these days will just like mold themselves into somebody they are completely not in order to score a guy that they think is the catch or something. And it's ridiculous. It's like, well, things are destined to fail from the beginning in that case. But yeah, like, I've had a couple of relationships where rules like this start getting put into place where they didn't even exist at the beginning of the relationship. And it's like, where the fuck is this coming from? All of a sudden, and it's because finally she's starting to become unattracted to me because now she has my total commitment and dedication. So it's like, man, it's so hard to have a long-lasting relationship for me because chicks want me, they see me as like, I don't know, some mythical being or some stupid shit. They see me as something because they just like want me so bad. There's so many chicks I've had to turn down now that I'm single. And I'm not as jaded as I used to be about all of this. So yeah, I have a lot of female friends, and I get along with walks of all life, man. But some of them will try to strong arm me into something more serious than just being friends, and I'm like, no, dude, this isn't fucking happening. And that's why they just want the commitment. They want to catch me so then they can start controlling me and laying down all these fucking rules, because suddenly all of their attraction to me starts evaporating as soon as they get commitment from me. So it's like, there's no point. As far as I can see, I mean, I'm sure there's instances where there's exceptions to every rule, right? I'm sure there's plenty of exceptions to this rule, but rules like this, where like, oh, you gotta get verbal consent, the 80% of communication between humans, which is body language, doesn't count anymore. This kind of stuff gets applied retroactively, and it's like, well, what the fuck? What were we doing back there then? If suddenly that's unacceptable, what is your opinion on that then? Like, why do we have to go to this new thing? And the only thing I can come up with is in agreement with Taylor the Fiend. It's like, the only times the rules have changed for me is when I give up 100% of my commitment and dedication to a person. And then it's like, okay, here is this fucking list and this list of, these are the restrictions for you, and these are instances where I'm really messed up and I didn't even tell you about this stuff, and you have to accept all of these things about me that I didn't put straightforward for you from the beginning. And it's like, holy shit, man. Yeah, reflecting on all of my past relationships, that's how they always go. And this is just one more thing to add to the list. And this is happening so much. There's so many young people drinking this Kool-Aid that, like, the majority of interpersonal communication doesn't even matter anymore. It's only verbal that matters. And hell, it's just so you guys know, I fully admit that even verbal is considered to not matter anymore. If somebody just regrets increasing their body count, or I don't know, you didn't behave just 100% perfectly and they regret it, or whatever, they will retroactively apply this R word, even if there is verbal consent. I mean, like I told you, in one of my things, like, this chick was like, oh, I want verbal consent up front. before we start anything, even if I'm the one initiating, you have to get verbal consent from me. And I agreed to that. And then it just got worse and worse because it was like, oh, well, you got to ask, every 5 minutes. Now every 3 minutes. Now you have to ask me every 2 minutes for continuation of consent without me having to prevent me from having a meltdown. And even when I would do that, she'd still have a meltdown sometimes. And it's like, dude, obviously you don't even fucking like me anymore. For whatever reason. It doesn't even matter, but you're not attracted to me, you don't love me, you don't even fucking like me anymore. And so, what the hell are we doing, you know? But so many kids are getting into this stuff. It's scary. But I think a lot of it is the internet. And I see this most prevalent on the internet. Chicks that I meet in real life that aren't chronically online, except for like Facebook and Instagram, like all chicks do. As long as they're not chronically online in like message boards and chat rooms and forum boards and just like spending all their life on those, they still have a fairly normal outlook on things. But all these forum boards, chat rooms, and shit that I hang out in, so many people are like this. It's crazy. And then they'll run into a normal person like me who's like, oh, I just invite a chick over to my house and we'll be drinking coffee and watching a show together, and she'll like start getting closer to me, and then she'll start like licking my neck or something that other people think are weird or embarrassing to talk about, and then push me onto the couch and start continuing on down that path. And like there's no verbal communication really, it's all body language. And the people are like, oh my god, you're a misogynist, you're an abuser. It's like, well, how? Like, she was on top of me. I was just agreeing to what her body was doing, whatever, I mean, if she didn't want it, I don't think she would have like, taken everything off and jumped on top of me. Or maybe I'm just fucking going insane. Maybe I'm insane. Maybe I'm from a parallel universe where people do that kind of stuff. And like, actually, here in this universe, the one that I'm not from, people have to be like, I know you are on top of me, man, but I would like to make sure to get verbal consent from you before you start sitting on me. Maybe this universe, maybe I'm not from it. I don't know, dude. Maybe I'm fucking insane. Maybe I'm the one that needs to be institutionalized. But I doubt it. I don't think so. All these chicks I meet in real life recently, they're not like that. At least they don't let on that they're like that. Maybe they are. Maybe, just like Taylor the Fiend says, because they're attracted to me, the rules don't apply to me. Until I give them my commitment, which I'm not giving to anybody anymore ever again. I'm not going to do that. It doesn't matter how pretty or special she tries to make herself look to me. I don't believe it. I don't believe any of that garbage. It's like, yeah, you're special. Okay. See you next week. Because I'm not moving anybody in here. I'm not letting anybody move into my life like that. We're friends. All right? She can call it a situationship or whatever. I don't give a shit. But I'm not fucking around anymore, man. I'm sick of it. Yeah, Taylor the Fiend is a great content creator. He has said so many things that make so much sense to me. I don't think he was around like 3 years ago or 4 years ago when I was really into all this stuff. So, man, he puts things so well. And looking back at all of my serious long-term relationships, I'm like, yeah, that's 100% true. Once I gave up all of my commitment, rules started getting applied to the relationship that I never even agreed to in the first place. And I'm one of those that's fully transparent. What you see is what you get. This is how I am, And then chicks will agree to that. Yeah, that's great. That's fantastic. And then once I give them my commitment, you're fucking garbage. None of that is cool. You have to change all of this. And then I start hitting my boundaries, dude. I start getting pushed up against my boundaries, and I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. This right here behind me that you're walking toward, this is my boundary. We're not going past that, and I'm not comfortable with that. And in that sense, consent doesn't mean a fucking thing for me. Consent from me doesn't mean a goddamn thing. It's like, what do you mean no? We're going to walk straight through your boundary. We're going to walk straight through your boundary, Bandit. And I'm like, no. This is my boundary. This is where it stops. We started way the fuck over there, like 2 miles away, and we inched closer and closer to it, and I kept telling you, hey, we're getting closer, we're getting closer, we're getting closer, and here we are, right here. This is my boundary. We're not going to pass this. And they're like, yeah, no, we're going to walk right through that thing that's right behind you, whatever you call it. And I'm like, this is called a boundary. This is called a boundary. No, we're not walking past this. And they're like, I don't think I heard that right. I think you said yes, right? And I'm like, no, we're not. Yes, we're gonna go through it, right? No. And then I say no enough times on that stuff, then they get bored and walk away. It's like, yeah, you can't completely change a person. Like, yeah, a person will try to meet you halfway on stuff or whatever, but these people out here, they pick up a partner and they're like, I'm gonna get that guy to take a jackhammer to his boundaries like the fucking Berlin Wall, and it's just gonna get decimated. And I'm gonna walk all over him and have access to his wallet. And it's like, man, I start getting pissed off, and then they're not happy because I'm always pissed off and unhappy in the relationship. And yeah, in retrospect, it's like every single relationship that I had been in worked just like that. I had absolutely no rules to abide by. They said, you're perfect just the way you are, until I was like, okay, you're my one and only girl for me, and I commit to trying to make this work for the rest of our life. And then they flip the script. No, you're a piece of trash, and you're going to change everything about you. It's like, wait a minute, you told me I was perfect in every way. What the fuck happened? Commitment is what happened. So anyways, yeah, this stuff here, like, yeah, this is unfortunate right here. Actual victims of this stuff, my heart goes out to you. It really sucks, and I'm sorry. I hope you can get better. But a lot of this is false. A lot of these people talking about this stuff, they're falsely claiming shit, because they want to apply rules just to people they're not attracted to, but they also want to get the validation of having somebody attracted to them. So they'll get down with somebody they're not even attracted to, and then get their validation. And once that validation has worn off in their brain, because they get nice chemicals releasing in their brain from the validation. Once that's worn off, and then they're like, ooh, icky, I slept with somebody I'm not attracted to. That must be the R word. It's like, no. You sick and twisted motherfuckers. What the fuck is wrong with you people? Just like I said, I had fun hooking up with all the ugly girls that I wasn't attracted to. Yeah, I still had fun. There was one chick, she would even take me to the adult clubs and stuff before she would take me to her house, so that I would have something to think about, because she knew I wasn't even attracted to her. She would take me around all of these really hot chicks and then take me to her house after I got in the mood. That's what she would do to get me in the mood, because she was completely aware that she was completely unattractive to me, but she wanted to get with me anyway, and I was cool with her paying for all of these things for me, and buying my dinner and taking me to the adult clubs so that I could interact with hot chicks and not even fucking pay for anything. And she would treat me to this like once a week, and I'd be like, yeah, let's go party, hell yeah. And I knew where it was going to end up. It was going to end up at her place, in her bed, with both of us without our clothes on, and doing the horizontal mamba. and I knew it was gonna go there every time. I wanted to go have a good time. She wanted to sleep with me, and so it was kind of like a trade, and I was fine with it. I wasn't R-worded. I consented to all of it, even though I didn't even verbally consent. All right, I showed up on purpose every time, and I'm the one that put myself in those situations. And fuck, dude, I had fun. I can shamelessly admit that I had fun. And there were many other instances like that where chicks I wasn't even attracted to. I got with them. It was a lot of fun, whatever. Sure, it wasn't as fun as getting with some of my other past interactions, because some other ones were like scorching hot and just drop dead gorgeous. And yeah, those were a lot of fun too. Ugly girls can be fun. And just because I have fun with ugly girls I'm not attracted to doesn't mean they're R-wording me. It's so fucking insane to even think that. I put myself in that position and I'm having fun. Yeah, sure, they're attracted to me and I'm not attracted to them. Well, who gives a fuck? They're getting something they want out of it. I guess I'm getting something I want out of it too. I just want to have fun, dude. I don't know. Some of you in the comments are going to be like, what the hell are you doing getting with unattractive chicks? Like, well, shit. All of these Instagram models and entrepreneurs and crap, like their egos are so inflated that like, they could pull 100 guys like me a day. And it's like, they're so stuck up. But for ugly girls, it's like, you're a treat for them. And they'll treat you really good. And it's fun. It's a lot of fun. Highly recommend it. 10 out of 10. Fun in different ways. And I didn't get R-worded any of those times. I have never been R-worded. I've told you guys. I've even got with guys like, yeah, I didn't verbally consent. But with my body language, I did. I wanted to try it out. I didn't like it at all. But I was not R-worded. I put myself in that situation. I may as well have verbally consented, but that would have killed the whole fucking thing anyway. And so, I wasn't R-worded. I didn't like it at all. I found out. I learned some things. I found out that, yeah, I am 100% just attracted to women. For all intents and purposes, like, it's the chicks. I don't like dudes. And I fucking know that. Do you? And all of you people in the comment section about to flame me for this, fucking, do you know for sure? Have you tried it? Have you put it to the test? I bet you haven't. Maybe you should. Because maybe you like dudes. Maybe. Anyways, you guys have a good day. It was good to talk to you guys. Yeah, I think a lot of this insanity stems from the interweb, like guys who get down with chicks who consent bodily but not verbally are artists, like you, Bandit. It's just a bunch of bullshit. It's such a load of crap. I've never R-worded anybody because it takes a complete moron or somebody with a mental illness to not understand the cues of somebody doesn't like you. It's obvious when somebody doesn't like you and doesn't want to do that. And, yeah, maybe it hurts your feelings or something. Whatever, you'll fucking get over it. Go play some fucking video games instead. Alright? Quit fucking with people. I don't know. Go play Drug Dealer Simulator. That's what I'm gonna play right now. It's a fun game. Alright, guys. Yeah, get off the fucking internet. Have a good one. Peace for real.